Welcome back, everybody. Comics and Cold Ones, episode 3. I got my co-host Pope Grimy with us tonight.
What's up, everybody?
Along with us, we have our special guest, Sorah Suhng. Woo! I know it's like a blue fancy theme music or something, but
I need my hype man.
I know, right? I need like a guy in the background saying something crazy. I thought it would be cool. We do like the and now like the 90s Bulls music.
I was thinking more like the WWE. You know how they always have like 2 or 3 in the posse that just like.
Do you know wrestling too?
Who, me?
Yeah.
I know enough to. I don't know specifics these days. I used to watch when I was younger, like when The Rock was a thing.
Yeah, you know more than I do. So this community loves wrestling. Ain't that right, Pope?
That is correct. We love
I am so out of every conversation when it comes to wrestling because I'm like, yeah, the Von Erichs, man, they were awesome. 1992.
But see, like, that's kind of like me. I knew wrestling back in the 90s, and now I'm kind of like, I know nothing.
Really, after like NWO and DX, like I'm kind of lost. So like all these new people, I have no idea.
So basically tonight we're going to do a little different show than previously. We're still going to do some giveaways. I don't know if Pope's got anything tonight, but I certainly do because, you know, I'm downsizing. I moved into a room that's not much space. So
no. I promised to give away a certain giveaway today.
Oh, is it Excalibur 86, please?
No, it's Excalibur from from Soul Eater.
Oh, nice.
Oh,
Soul Eater, what do you got? Oh, are you giving away Mendoza?
I sure am.
Oh my gosh, look at that.
I'm giving away the poster, but I'll give away this sign.
You're giving away a signed book by Mendoza on tonight's show? That's freaking nuts, man.
Well, man, they pressured me into it. It was them.
Peer pressure's nasty, isn't it?
Them.
I think we outgrew peer pressure, didn't we?
What?
It's alcohol and peer pressure.
Oh,
Wait.
Oh, speaking of which,
yeah.
Tonight I'm going to try a Shiner Bock IPA for the people of the audience that want to know what tonight beer is brought to you by. Me. This. Gross. Not a big fan of the IPAs.
Not a less so gross. This is a great tasting beer. It's Oberon. It's from good old Michigan. It's a
What
nice.
kind of beer is it?
It's an ale, and it's kind of a lighter ale. It's a summer ale, but it's probably the best summer ale that I've ever had.
All right. And what does our guest have with her tonight?
I have a bougie ass glass of rosé. My friend Sarah will appreciate this, although she's probably asleep. But rosé all day.
Rosé.
I like wine. I don't do beer. I know it's awful, but I just don't do beer.
I have wine too, but I'm trying to get through this this bag of beer that I bought when I first moved to Texas.
This bag of beer.
Oh,
did they serve milk in bags in Canada?
Really? I did not know that.
Like, if you go to the grocery store and they're in bags.
Oh, dude. Did you get the milk carton?
Oh my gosh, dude! You should have texted me. I forgot the milk carton. We were gonna do a missing persons on a milk carton for one of the YouTubers that hasn't been around for a while. So, next show, man. I got the picture printed. I just didn't get the freaking milk carton. Anyways, moving. I'm blaming all my mistakes on moving. So
that only lasts for a certain point, though.
It does until next week.
He's been drinking too, so.
Yeah, drinking and moving. That's how we do it. So, Miss Sorah, I want to first say thank you so much for being on tonight. I know you have a busy East Coast lifestyle, and it's really late on your side of the country.
It's not that late. I'm just old.
Well, whatever it is.
I'm in bed by I'm working, but I'm usually in bed by like 10 o'clock.
Well,
you mind if
people
in the chat?
Well, you guys are talking at the same time, so I can't understand you.
Sorry. Go ahead, sir.
Oh, I just want to do some shout outs to people who joined us.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, thanks Tat Comics. We got 4-Way Flashers. What's up? Got Jason Smith. We have got C. Woodard. What's up? We got reviews from the Bat Cave. How's it going, guys? Unite the Seven. What's up, Prowler? Thanks for joining us. We got All About Comics, The Wife. How's it going?
Hi, the wife.
The wife who shall not be named. Then we got Brandon. And we got the Great Legend. The Great Legend has joined up. And Escargo. What is up, brother?
Hey, my buddy Hakan from Turkey. He set his alarm for this, so he's excited to be here tonight. I invited him on, but I think he's a little leery of that 4 a.m. time zone over there and trying to look as pretty.
It's the best.
Yeah, I'll have you know, I put makeup on for you boys, so you better appreciate this.
Hey.
Oh, thank you.
Yes. I'll drink to that. So tonight, so typically kind of how we do things is we'll talk about some books that came out this week.
Okay.
We'll do some reviews. I only read one book this week to actually talk about, but you know, this show is going to be about you and your projects and what you have going on. I do have some of your artwork back here to kind of talk about from you know my lovely wife's print collection that she is a big fan of.
She's like, you better not sell that.
Is that part of the giveaway? No, that's not. I also have this one.
Sweet.
You guys can see it without the glare. But you know, I just kind of want to get something different for our show, just to talk about like the processes. Like I know your background because having talked with you in person and kind of got to know you that way in Seattle and then thusly more into Texas. But I come across your artwork from Instagram and through it was over almost 2 years ago probably, or close to a year and a half maybe. I reached out to you about commissions, and I had seen the Harley commission you had did for Marty Caracas.
Yeah, I just saw him at MegaCon. He's a super.
I saw his.
I got a Red Sonja. I have to finish for him like in the next couple days. Oh, there it goes.
Yeah, we're kind of whatever. But anyways, so I just kind of want to talk a little bit about your processes and what you go through. I think it's funny when people are like, you get a commission by an artist and they're like, oh, how much was that, or what's the rates? And I don't ever like telling the rates that I got because I don't know if it was just a moment that my rate was different, or what the going rate is, or anything like that.
That can happen a lot, though. I know with artists, some artists are very consistent about what their prices are. I have a general ballpark of what my prices are for each year, and then debating, or depending on the show itself, how the show's going, or how my personal time and finances is going. And if I'm really busy, I'm going to crank up my prices, because it's like I have to make it worth my while, and we're all whores, so we all have our number. So it's like, wow, this person really wants something from me and are willing to pay top dollar. Okay, fine, I'll do it. Like I'll squeeze it in and make it worth my while. But I mean, I tend to not really post too much about the prices in any kind of real way, just because I feel that because I can be flexible is the thing. Some people want something smaller, like, and they're not going to, is a head sketch and something this small, like, is that what the price is? And it's not. So I tend to like, well, here's my general ish, and then I flex from there. So like I just did a commission, for example, in MegaCon, where the guy wanted color, but she's wearing all white. So I was like, that's like minimum gray tones. So I was like, nah. So I charged him like half of what I would normally charge for the colors. So yeah, if you wanted to know that process.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. Because I think it's interesting of what an artist goes through, and me being the consumer or the fan or whatever, I lay down whatever the price is we agreed upon, and go about my day. And some artists are fast, some don't have that much going on, and some straight up tell you, hey, you're going to be on a 2-year list, buddy. And that happens. It's nothing personal or whatever. It's just the business. Like for example, I mean, I know your list is extremely long just from having seen it, and you know, you know, somewhere in the top 22, as my wife's name sits.
Right. You already paid me for the last thing, though, right? From Dallas.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, so that will get done first. The stuff that has been paid at like shows will get done first. Like, with that said, the Deathstroke that I've been recently working on, God bless him. Like, he was a sweetheart from Florida who commissioned me last year. And I warned him, I said, listen, you're going to pay me this money right now. I don't take money up front these days for take-home commissions because I don't ever effing know when I'm going to get to it is the problem. Good problem to have because I'm so busy with published work, but also, you know, I have this like sort of Damocles hanging over my head. Like I have to get this shit done. So like I wanted to get it done before this year's MegaCon because I was like, oh my God, this guy's been waiting for a year. I technically still haven't finished. I still have like an hour left to color it. Cause and yeah, so yeah, that list is daunting and terrifying to me. So like I'm trying to get through like everyone who's been paid on the list for like the next week or so. That's my goal, just to get it all done. And then literally everyone's just in that wait mode and I don't care then I'm just like, okay, if I can squeeze it in, I can squeeze it in. Who cares?
Yeah, I always make a point whenever you post a new commission, I always like to put on there, that's not magic. Just to mess with you.
I mean, because I'm not stressed out already. Thanks, John. I appreciate that.
That's how I roll. You know, I like to just put it there in the back of your mind like that son of a bitch. He's just always there.
Yeah, you're going to get a good product out of me by pressuring me like that?
Yes, I've seen your work. No matter. Your bad days are some people's good days, so we're good.
My problem is I over-deliver. My manager screams at me all the time because it's like, they're like, oh, this is supposed to be a torso. Let me give you almost the full body for that same price. And Brett's like, no.
Well, the good thing I'm sure that you I don't know how your commissions work. Do you get a lot of repeat people, or is it, I mean, just
the repeat customers who usually go all out, you know, I tend to reference them mentally as like the high rollers for me. So yeah, I do have repeat, and I feel bad because it's like, you know, I know they're being very patient. They're waiting on my list right now, but it's like, I've got so much stuff to do. Like, that it's becoming a bit untenable. I don't know if you saw my Facebook post today where I was like, why does good news always have to be coupled with bad news? Because good things are happening for me right now in terms of work, but at the same time, I'm like, I don't know if I'm ever going to sleep again for the next 4 months, basically.
Sleep is for the weak.
Yeah, seriously. I think that's literally what the hashtag that I had. I said rest was for the weak.
You totally did that today. That was like literally your hashtag. I was like, oh.
I can't say what, but something basically got greenlit. A mini-series got greenlit. It's not for either of the big two, so calm your tits. But like, it's for a very reputable, awesome publisher, and it basically got greenlit. I can't say what yet because nothing's technically been signed, but it's going to be signed as far as I'm concerned. And I kind of went like, oh shit, like I have to do like juxtapose all this cover work and my own stuff that I'm working on. Now I have to do like legitimate pages with legitimate deadlines. Like, and I'm like, I'm so fucked.
That's good. That's a good way to be fucked, I guess. Because
I guess. I mean, I'm just like, I'm a little, I know that it's scary to think about, but once I get into the flow of things, it'll be better. And I'm also working with a great inker. So like, I can say this, I'm working with Juan Castro, who is my go-to inker. He's amazing. He's wonderful. He's this amazing powerhouse of talent out of Mexico. And it's so funny because I'm so used to not having as adept inkers on my work. So as you know, I pencil pretty much within an inch of my life. And so Juan's always like, Sorah, you loosen it up. Like you can go loose with it. It's okay. Like you don't have to spend all that time. And I'm like, oh, it makes me so uncomfortable. So I think I'm going to have to do that though, just on sheer amount of work. I'm going to have to get a little loose just to get it all done, because otherwise I'm screwed.
So we have one question from the chat for you.
Oh.
Escargo80 would like to know, who is your favorite character to draw?
If it's women, Captain Marvel.
I knew that answer.
Yeah, I love drawing her. I don't know. It's because she's got such like a. I don't know what it is. I honestly don't know. I could not tell you. I love, and I really, really, really like when she has the shaved short hair, because then you can have a lot of fun with how it looks. And it's not often that I get to draw a really well designed, masculine yet feminine character like that. She's just got a magic combo for me, so I really like that. For dudes, who would be for dudes?
Dark Side.
It's who?
She said who? Sinestro.
No. You'd think it'd be Captain America, but I actually am terrified of drawing him because I'm always gonna fuck him up.
I was just thinking of the conversation.
What, the porn one?
About
yeah. Oh, Iron Man, absolutely, because that's my bread and butter. So drawing Iron Man is like, it's super relaxing to me.
So, someone, Tats Comics wants to know, have you ever drawn Rogue?
Yes, I have drawn. I mean, yeah. I did have her in a print once. That was from a couple years ago, and the rest of them have been like little commissions and stuff here and there. Rogue was part of my OTP with Rogue and Gambit, so they were my one true pairing for a long time when I was a kid.
Oh.
Yeah. The 90s cartoon is what got me into comics. So.
Well, that was a good question to not have to ask you. Perfect.
What got me into comics?
Yeah, like, I mean, so I mean, I know you obviously, and you kind of cut your teeth with Marvel, correct? You're doing interiors, is that correct?
I was inking. Yeah, I was an inking assistant at Marvel.
So, you know, and then from there you kind of went to, was it Princeless?
From there, I did a little bit of indie stuff, but then I kind of went away and had a failed marriage. and then I decided to come back to comics in 2016 as a penciler. So I left as an inker, came back as a penciler. And then I started to do stuff with Jeremy Whitley on Princeless. Actually, June, I believe, this coming month is when my first foray into penciling interiors will be published. Finally, we say finally because it was like freaking 2-3 years ago that we did it, with writer Wesley Knipe and Kate Finnegan colored, and Taylor Esposito lettered. On Jeremy's, at the time it was supposed to be like a 5-year anniversary for Princeless, but now it's just going to be, all the proceeds are going to a girls charity, and it's like a little 10-page whatever. It's really cool. Of course, I'm horrified by the artwork now because I'm like, oh my god, that was like 2.5, 3 years ago. I didn't know what I was doing, but okay, cool. I'm just gonna own it, as I call it. I'm gonna Billy Tucci it. Just own everything that you do and make no apologies.
That's a good policy to have.
I think so. I mean, as long as you're not hurting anybody, I think it's a fair policy. Just own it. No apologies. So yeah, that's how I started. And so now I'm doing a bunch of covers, and I will be now apparently doing interior work. So.
But you can't talk about that yet.
Not yet, which kind of sucks, but it is gonna. I will say, you know, you can say it later on in another show. Oh yeah, by the way, so I can't. I think no, I can't. I don't know what I can say. I can't. I suck. I'm sorry.
You can't say the publisher.
I don't think I can say that. Okay, I'm gonna be a bad person and tentatively say the publisher. I don't know. It's going to be with Action Labs. So.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Action Labs put out some quality books.
They do actually. I love and I mean I do Princeless. I've done Princeless. I've done Raven the Pirate Princess, and I'm going to be. There's going to be some other cover work that I'm doing. I'm also going to be on the A covers for Raven, I think, or no, the B covers. I don't know. This year I've been on the B covers for Raven. So, but yeah, there's good things. I like working with Action Lab. They're good people, and they're local. They're local to me. So.
Oh, sure. Yeah, I didn't think about that. Need to get those guys on this show. That's my next goal, is to get a comic publisher. Anyways,
I'm sure Brian Seaton, he's the publisher. I'm sure he would love to be on it.
He would love to. He doesn't even know that yet. But I mean, I'll be honest. Like we talk all the time, Pope and I, and I'm sorry, Pope, you haven't had a chance to really say anything, but I'll free it up in a moment.
Man, I love this. This is like, wow, this is the greatest. I don't have to say a damn thing. Just not freak.
Like,
did you not share the questions with Pope?
Well, we really didn't come in with an agenda, right? Like I just wanted it to kind of be focus on your.
Oh wait, we did come in with an agenda.
What was
and
that?
that's to drink and talk about comics.
Yeah, that's true. Talk about comics, drink some beer, and have a.
You said that you guys wanted to open up. You were talking about me, but you said you wanted to open up talking about comics that you had read this week, and I was wondering if either of you had read my booze book, Void Trip. The trade just came out this week. Void
Trip. I haven't read Void Trip. I will probably pick up the trade because a lot of those books.
I did a variant cover for issue 1.
I did see that actually. That's I really wish I had more of your work to show behind me, but I don't. Because with moving and everything.
I actually have your cover somewhere in this.
Because I had
I should have dug it out, so I'm a bad person.
Yeah, she'll be fine.
Okay, I forgive you.
Because you did the Kickstarter with Lady Death that I showed off in one of my previous videos.
I did 2 covers for the last Lady Death.
Well, the new one, the La Muerta, you did one for that as well. Right? Yeah. So I did support. I support pretty much anything from Coffin Comics or Brian Polito.
You should. Brian's magic.
Yeah, he's I don't know, it's fun stuff. I'm I'm gonna segue really quick into the Kickstarter, just because I have to share this with all our watchers and viewers.
Can I get a question?
Yeah, go ahead.
Eddie the comic guy was wondering, when you're inking, what type of pen do you use?
These days, I've actually been using the Copic multiliners, and that's because normally when I'm inking something, it's demanded of me to color it. So I color with Copics manually, and thusly I have to have inks that Copics will not smear, and Copic multiliners will not smear with Copic markers. With that said, if I'm inking, like I'm not expecting to color it, and this is my just inking myself, blah, 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 then I'm using either a 0.7 or 0.5 Hunt's nib, and I use a crow quill. Crow quills are going to allow you to have more variation and juice in your line and more control. I like them better than brushes because you're able to get a firm line. So when you're doing things like buildings or cars or anything mechanical, you get that nice firm line on it. Like I said, you get juice. I was taught how to ink by one of the best inkers in the industry when I started. So I will swear by Crow Quill any day of the week. And yeah, your mom.
Fair enough.
I'm just saying there's some inkers who are like, oh, I don't want to use them. I'm like, that's cute. That's why your inks are not going to ever be as good as other inkers because you're not juicing it. You got to have, there has to be life to your line. If you don't have the depth variation, the plane variation, like if you're going down a single stroke of an arm, and if you don't have like that variation in line, the thickness, the juiciness, then it's going to be flat and you're going to be a tracer.
Yeah, and we all know from Chasing Amy, you don't want to be a tracer.
I love that movie.
I love Chasing Amy.
You probably love it on a different level than like just regular folks that aren't in the industry, but
no, I'm pretty sure I watched that movie before I was in comics. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were probably like 11 when it came out.
I didn't see it until I was 19.
Rated R, parents keeping you in check. I like it.
Take me to rated R movies. They would only block my eyes for sex scenes.
Right.
But I'd still hear everything.
Yeah, I still hear them. I'm going to mimic that.
Imagination's a dangerous thing.
It's a wonderful thing.
A dangerous thing.
One more question here from the chat said...
let's say, hey, what's up, Pope C, and what's up, Gomez? Welcome to the chat, guys. Sorry.
Yeah, we got the chat starting to come alive a little bit here. 4-Ways Flashers on comics would like to know who were some of Sorah's influences in the comic world.
So I started working. I mean, I started to draw Western style comics because of a video game that I played. This is a convoluted story. I think I told you this, John, but this is a convoluted story. I will get there. And it was the game called City of Heroes and City of Villains. And at the time, it was published by, there was a comic book that accompanied the MMORPG published by Top Cow. I hadn't read a comic in, God, years at that point. And so I ended up, you could read the comic for free on their web at Top Cow's website at the time. So I ended up going to the website to go read the comic because I had like done fan art and it got into the back of the book or whatever. Which, oh my God, can I upload a photo? Because I totally have one of the pages here. My friend sent it to me. I don't know how to do that in Google whatevs, but it's too bad because it's bad. It's so bad. Anyways. Like, it's so horrible. I'm like really proud of how horrible it is. Anyhow, so of course, after reading the comics and stuff, I would peruse the Top Cow website just out of morbid curiosity. And I ended up seeing artwork from both Turner and Silvestri. And I was like, oh my God, I want to one day, I want to do that. Like, can I do that? I knew nothing about the comic book industry. I didn't even know there was pencilers, inkers, and like my brain just never thought about it beyond the superficial. I guess that's why, you know, when fans talk about like, oh, I didn't know that, I don't get offended because I didn't really know. And so Turner, Silvestri, definitely strong influences. Actually, Megan Hetrick, who I love and adore, her artwork, I love it. She has such a natural flow and almost minimalist approach to her rendering that I would say that I like to bring a little bit of emulation of her into it. I actually hilariously get mostly compared to Turner, which cracks me up because I actually don't even see it at this point. And neither does Brett, by the way. And Brett like knew Turner, and I'm like, and I get it all the time at my table. Sit with me next con, John. Like, you will hear it. Oh, wow, it looks like Turner. I'm like, how does it look like Turner? It doesn't look like Turner. And like my anatomy, the way I draw bodies, not like Turner. The way I do faces, not. Maybe the fabulous drag queen eyelashes. I don't know.
I was gonna say the only thing I can see would be the eyes.
Could be the eyes, yeah.
Yeah, because.
But even that, he had much bigger Disney-esque eyes, and I don't.
Yes, guys.
Yeah, but your eyes aren't as Disney like his, but that would be the only thing. Because Turner was my first love. Turner was my first love in comics.
He was my first love. I'm here for it.
I was like the saddest thing in the world with this passing for me because I didn't even know about conventions and stuff because I was such a backwoods kid. I didn't know these things, you know. And then I worked.
I was 22 when he passed. You can't say kid.
No, but as my 20s, I mean, I was still in my 20s when he passed away. But I'm just saying, at that point in my life, I lived in North Dakota. And I worked for a comic shop part-time when he needed it. And he got Mike Turner to sign a book for me in Baltimore. And that was like that was my precious.
I never got to meet him, and that was one of my big regrets. And one of the reasons that I've kind of resolved myself into trying to say hello or to meet people and shake their hands of people who I admire and adore, because for some reason, I just never thought about the fact that, like, I knew that he had been sick before, but like and at that point, you know, as an assistant, I had met like almost everybody in the industry at that point. Like, I mean, to the point that I had drinks with Quesada at a Marvel party back in the day when it was much more casual, right? And like, before it was like, oh no, like now it's super bougie. But like, you know, back when high-end creators were accessible. So like, yeah, you could just like go buy them a drink and they talk your ear off. But like, I just never thought about meeting Turner, and which was really hilarious. I mean, kind of messed up, not hilarious, like dark humor. What's really dark, humorously dark, is that I'm actually pretty decent friends, and with Vince Hernandez, the editor-in-chief for Investment, I'm good friends with him. But I met them all after the fact, like Peter Steigerwald and Vince. Like I met them after the fact, and it kind of sucks because, like I said, I never actually got to meet Mike. So, who was like my inspiration to get involved in comics. Oh, and like I said, Silvestri, because it was hilarious. There was a drawing that he did like with Batman sitting in the Batcave, and it's super ominous and dark and totally Sylvester-y. Do you know what I mean? And he's like sitting on this like chair, and he's all like looking all badass and broody. And I just remember the comments underneath it was like, Mark Silvestri is a god. And I just cracked up because I'm like, who the fuck says that? Like, it was just the weirdest thing. And it's forever stuck with me in my head. Like, and so now I'm like, God. Why did you mute yourself? You muted yourself.
The baby's crying. I don't want to mess up your conversation.
I'm babbling. Like, they're all going to hear nothing but my shrill voice.
So there was a question in the chat that I missed. Did you catch that one, Pope?
Yeah, I was gonna say, Tat wanted to know what age did you start drawing, and when did you start working for Marvel?
For who?
Marvel.
Oh, so I mean, you know, cliche answer. I've been drawing since I was a baby, but I have since I was a little girl. I used to draw like shit as a little girl, but I did draw. And then I used to do things for my school newspaper. I started out drawing anime way back when. I can still do like chibis and shit now. So that video game I was talking about, I started drawing my own characters, and then my friends asked me to draw their characters, and then random people started paying me money to draw their characters, and that's how I kind of started in Western style artwork, Western comic style artwork, and then I ended up moving back. I was living elsewhere, moved back down to Florida, and was going to go back to school. And I kind of had this vague idea of like, well, I want to work in comics, but I don't know anything about it. So I don't know. It was like this random ass like idea that I had literally zero clue on. And I had missed the matriculation to go back to FSU at the time. And so I was in Tampa with my parents, and they're like, well, you got to wait like 6 months until you can go matriculate. Back this when I just turned 20. So I was like, okay. So I needed to do something with my time. So I decided to go work at Starbucks because why not? And that's where my love of coffee came from.
Yeah.
But I literally, so the first day that I was there, you know, my manager sits me down and she's like, so what do you want to do? Because nobody aspires to work at Starbucks. I love Starbucks as a company. We'll always sing their praises, but no one aspires to be a barista is my point. So, you know, they're very practical. I like them. So they're like, well, what do you actually want to do? And I said, well, I kind of want to be a comic book artist. And she was like, oh, that's interesting. That's interesting. And, you know, throwaway comment, whatever. Some dude walks in and he like clearly knows everybody in the store. And he's like, oh, hey, blah, 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 blah. And he gets like a regular drink and then he like fucks off. And then when he fucks off, I grew up in the military, so I cuss like a sailor. So
I was thinking, then he fucks off.
when he fucks off, then my manager turns back to me because this was like literally the first day on the job, and we're like sitting down just having a conversation, and she's like, "Yeah, so he's like some famous comic book artist or something." And I was like, "What? Like, are you kidding me?" And my story is so cliche. So I was like, oh my God, I need to like introduce myself so I can like learn all the things and like find out all the information. And I am hilariously, I know you find this hard to believe in most people too, but I'm actually very, very shy. And so
You're like,
I'm super shy. And so and the thing is, so it was my first mentor, Bob Layton. I didn't know who he was. I had to Google his name. Wow. Yeah. And it took me, and I was like, I'm going to talk to him. I'm going to talk to him. And it took weeks for me to like build up the balls to be like, hello. Like, and I didn't even talk to him. I just said hello. Finally, my manager, God bless her, and I think her name was Jessica. I feel like such a shit because I don't remember her name. But like, she realized that I was never going to grow the cojones to talk to him. So she talked to him for me. So the next time he came in, he was like, so I heard you want to be a comic book artist. And I'm like, like, sure. And he's like, oh, well, you know, you want to set up a day and we can like meet here at the shop and I can like look over your portfolio. And I was like, sure. And I ended up bringing my stuff. It's shit. I can literally show you artwork from that era. I don't know what the hell he saw, but he saw something. And then he was like, I want to make you my apprentice. And I was like, I didn't know what the fuck that. I was like, sure. Like, I don't know. But he's like, you can't. And I was like, can I do that from afar? Because I'm moving in January to go back to Tallahassee to go to FSU, and he's like, no, fam. So I was like, okay. So I had to transfer schools, and that's why I ended up going to USF. But literally, he was doing stuff for Marvel, and that was my long roundabout way to how I literally started my career doing shit for Marvel. And I designed a bunch of logos for Marvel, yeah, and my career's been absolutely backwards because of it. Because now I started out with Marvel. I got kind of like weirdly like, okay, sure, whatever. And now I'm like, yeah, I get to do indie stuff. Like, that's so exciting.
Well, I'd say like you'd say that's a blessing though. Like, well, I might be getting shit thrown at me, but Marvel's kind of in a weird kind of place with their stories. So I think
I know that DC is doing very, very well. I know that Marvel's having some growing pains right now, according to retailers and according to fans. I get that. I've known CB. CB probably doesn't remember the fact that I've known him for how long, but the night that Turner died, I was sitting at a table in the bar at Chicago Wizard World, and he leaned into my table and told me, Turner passed away. So I mean, and I had known CB for a long time before that, like during my apprenticeship. So I've known him for a super long time. And I really do think if anyone's going to be able to right that ship, it's going to be him. Because I feel like he's got a greater global understanding of things. And that's one thing to keep in mind is that right now in the States, which yes is the strongest market for comics, there seems to be some struggle, but in terms of overseas stuff, like there's a lot more going on than what we are currently aware of because we're so focused in what's happening in the States. But I know that there is like a crap ton of push happening in Asia specifically. So, which I think is genius. And I've been screaming about that for years because I'm like, oh my God, if you're going to tap into any freaking market, tap into Asia. Like, good God. Like, we're already primed for this shit.
Well, they have I saw the Asian Iron Man. I can't remember, it was something, the lady with them, I think her name was like, I don't know, Cindy Wang or Cindy Wong, I can't remember. But anyways, I saw that and I thought, oh, that's an interesting, like in my experience from friends, and I'm a huge anime fan, huge manga fan. That's kind of where I got into, I've been a fan of that for years. And, there's obviously a market there for American comics,
Sure.
no different than, our friend Hakan is in Turkey, for crying out loud, and he gets the same comics we do done in their language. So I'm sure there's a lot of stuff behind the scenes. There was one more question, quick though, from Splash Page Comics. Want to know where you got your chair from?
This was a birthday. Can you see it? So this was a birthday.
I saw you got it for your birthday back in March.
This is a birthday present from my manager. And he got it off of Amazon. So they have a lot more. They got like Spider-Man and a bunch of other things. The one thing, it is super comfortable. It is a great chair. But one thing I'll say, if you are lifted high and you lean forward too far, you go with a chair. Like, it's happening. That's one thing I've learned. So I've learned to not lean too far because I have ended up on this is going to sound awful, but I've ended up on my knees more than once because of the chair when I'm leaning to grab something off the floor. Like, because again, back to my whole conversation about the fact that my studio is kind of a wreck. So it doesn't look like a wreck right now.
That's perfect camera angle, just like mine.
This
the rest of this room.
So yeah.
So what's something that you're currently working on, or is there any books that you're on right now you can talk about?
Yes. So books. I haven't followed it. I don't know if my last cover with Raven for this year has come out yet, but I did 7 covers for Action Lab for Raven the Pirate Princess. I was the B covers. So they was all
Raven the Pirate Princess, you said?
Raven the Pirate Princess.
Okay.
With Action Lab with Jeremy Whitley of The Wasp and Princeless fame. And so I did I did the B covers for those. I don't know if the latest ones have come out. I know I've done 7 though. And what else? I just did the La Muerta with Coffin Comics, and previous to that I just did the Lady Death. And I am currently working on a Valkyrie Saviors for Mountain Olympus Comics with Ron Zabala. And I think that's the current stuff, with the exception of obviously my own personal project, Carnal Confessions.
Say, let's talk about Carnal Confessions.
Yes, please.
I would say, like, I love the quote: "The man who promises everything is sure to fulfill nothing."
Yeah.
And already on the road to perdition. That was great.
Thank you. That's not my quote. That I am obsessed and absolutely love Carl Jung. I'm a psych major, so I love Carl Jung. He's got the best freaking quotes on the planet. So they can they're just the best quotes. And I
was like, oh, that's great. That's great stuff.
Well, they're very insightful. I've always found them to be very insightful. So that's just my little personal. I love Carl Sagan and Carl Jung. I like Carl's apparently. So try to work him in. But yeah. So Carnal Confessions is my personal project. I've got Ryan O'Sullivan. God, he's done so much at this point now. He did Void Trip, as we talked about earlier, with Image Comics, and he's also working on Dark Souls, and he does a bunch of stuff for Titan Comics right now. And he's got his own personal project coming out with Vault called Fear Escape. I don't know if that's out yet, but it was announced recently. Anyway, so I've known him since I was about 19 years old, and we've been cooking up a project for over 10 years on and off. Like, we've talked about it, and we fleshed everything out back in 2012. We fleshed everything out. Like, I got so obsessed with this whole thing. I was world building to the point of I'm like, well, listen, if there are mountain ranges right here, then there would be a rain shadow. Thus, there would be a desert. Like, I got way the F into it, way too into it. Not that anyone will ever know this ever, but I need to know. So that story is called Broken, and Carnal Confessions is a prequel to it. It can either be this standalone stories I'm doing right now, or there's a possibility, depending on how the audience receives it, how good the feedback is, and I will actually do a second arc of this story. But after that point, then we basically have to get into the graphic novel of Broken. So this is kind of giving me and Ryan a little bit of breathing room to, one, develop the fan base, nurture that, give them some information, entertain them for free, and then say, okay, now we want to do this big old project. And if you're on board, let's do this together. Let's all of us make this happen, because this is our love song to science fiction, superheroes, and romance, which is the trifecta for me.
It's like the Firefly of comics.
Do what?
The Firefly of comics. That was my favorite show of all time.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, you never watched it, did you?
I did see Serenity. I never watched it. Anyways, I'm not. I will make enemies, but I'm not on the Joss Whedon boat. I don't.
I'm not on his boat either. I just thought the Firefly was my thing. It was like a. I love sci-fi. I love westerns. I love, Nathan.
I heard nothing but good things about it. I just never watched it. And it got canceled. So I was like, what's the point for me at that point, right? Why cancel?
Yeah.
If I get it, doesn't mean it's canceled so early. So
it was canceled, and I became a fan. So.
Well, anyway, so like I was saying, so my story is it's hilariously kind of turned into a little bit of a female anthem. I kind of accidentally wrote a female power fantasy, unbeknownst to me. And because I honestly thought that okay, it's going to be easy for me to get male readers because she's a hot blonde and her name, she's goes by the moniker Carnal Sin. How hard is it to get some guys into this? I'm just saying, right? Practically speaking. And hilariously, I've gotten much stronger feedback from women. And like I said, I think I accidentally wrote a little bit of a female power fantasy in the same way that superheroes have always been male power fantasies. But this one is kind of unapologetic about being, this is a woman, this is what she wants to do, she's going to fucking do it. And that's so,
especially reading the second chapter when she's drunk as shit and she opens up the door and she's just sitting there naked with drinking and naked people around. What do you want?
Yeah.
I thought it was great. But no, I think you got something really good going. I think
I hope so. it's actually been a little bit of a challenge because she's a villain, and that's the whole thing. I've always had this fantasy.
I love villains. Like, you're talking to the right guy. I love villains.
Perfect, because I've always felt that, especially with superheroes, and it's been done in other genres, but I really feel that within the superhero genre, because it's so dominated by the big two, is that there's never really been, as far as I know, and I could be wrong, and correct me if I am wrong, but there's never really been a quote unquote unapologetic villain story where it's like, she's not a fucking anti-hero. She's not redeemed. This is just her being horrible and you're along for the fucking ride. Like, just enjoy it for what it is. And like, and for me, I'm like, that's interesting. That's more fun. Because I personally find villains more compelling because they can go either way. Like they can either.
That's why I'm a big Sinestro fan, because like I think he has the right thing in mind, but he just does bad stuff every once in a while.
But see, that's the thing, is that, and villains are more compelling because they're going to do, no, good villains do not think that they're doing anything wrong. They think they're doing everything right. And that's more interesting because you have to, as a reader, as an audience, you have to ask yourself, well, would I do that? Would I really not do that? Yeah. Like what they're doing is bad, but I kind of agree with it.
You don't need a Boy Scout Superman.
So I think you found your pitch there. You were talking. You just nailed it.
Well, I mean, I do have my one-liner pitch, which is the bad girl who's getting bad thing.
No, I like the other one. She's a bad person, and you're just along for the fucking ride.
Just along for the fucking ride. Nothing that actually this first arc actually has to do with the fact of why she's called Colonel Sin, because I as you guys have realized, like, no one's called her that yet. And why the hell is the story called Carnal Confessions? Like I said, I kind of came up with a little bit of an origin as to how she got that moniker. But like, you know, I don't ever try to justify anything that she's doing as being the good thing. Like, it's going to be uncomfortable. There's going to be parts where it's very fucking uncomfortable because you're like, oh, that's not a good thing that she just did. You're like, yeah, you're right, because she's not a good person. Like, just deal with it. So anyway, so every chapter is released on the 25th of every month. It's for free online at Carnal with a K, Confessions with a C .com. I'm sure that he'll throw up something. Yeah, so carnalconfessions.com. You can find it also through my website, sorahsuhng.com. There's a little link there that says Carnal Confessions. It'll take you straight there. Well, that's my website. That's really blurry. That's not happening.
Whatever. I'll put it in the description later.
Anyway, so it's mostly prose, but you end up getting anywhere between 2 to 3, kind of like what I call like interior pinups is how I describe it. And they're meant to be basically like sequential like panels, but they're like made a little bit bigger. They could be more interpretational. And then I'm starting next month, so June 25th, I'm having guest artists. So I'm going to have guest character art and guest chapter art. And as things start rolling along, as I get more readers, as you know, things start picking up, that means I'm allowed to pump more effort into this. So you get more stuff out of it for free. That's the nice part. It's for free.
So as a fan, how do we actually like say, yes, we want this? How do we let you know that?
Comment, share. Those are the 2 best possible ways, because the more traffic that I get to the website, those are my metrics. Those are how I determine whether or not I can push forward on something or not. So, so yeah, commenting and sharing. Like, so I have a little Facebook commenting at the bottom of each chapter. I hate to somehow fix it there. I'm having a little bit of a glitch, but like, if you comment on there, that only bodes well for me, because that shows me that's immediate direct. I mean, a lot of people have sent me messages and I'm like, that's nice. Can you comment? Because that's what really drives it. So yeah, commenting, sharing, like I said, I want to provide this content for free. Like, that's what I want to do. So
for the people, start for sure.
By the people, whatever.
Of the people, by the people, for the people.
Yeah, patriotic. I don't know. I got nothing.
So it's awesome. It's awesome. Sorry, go ahead, bud.
Eddie the comic guy says, I wasn't able to go to art school as a kid, so I love picking the brains of the actual artists. Is there any advice you could give a guy who is always looking to improve?
Well, the same thing that I tell somebody asking me, how do I become a professional artist at a con, is I say, listen, as long as you're drawing, no matter what, as long as you're doing it every day and you're drawing, you don't need to go to school for it. You will always improve based on the fact that you are doing. And now with the advent of the internet, you've got access to much better stuff than any of us could have dreamt of back when. So you've got Patreon, you've got YouTube, you've got websites, blogs. You know, exploit that, because you're going to learn a lot more from there than you would in art class. I feel anyway. With that said, if you're going to take any course, you need to take business courses. You need to take business courses in entrepreneurship, into business finance or business accounting, things of this ilk. I never did. A lot of people never did. And we always tell people, listen, you are learning to turn yourself, your brand, your name, your skill set into a business ultimately. We're all freelancers. So we need to know how to parlay that, how to balance our business budgets, how to do this, what makes it worthwhile, what doesn't. All those things. Like, it's better to know that from the get-go than learn trial by fire, which is what the rest of us have done.
Trial by fire.
It's not. It's painful the first couple of years. You're like, what am I doing? So, and a lot of artists, God bless them, a lot of artists, and they'll openly tell you that they don't have what we would reference as, you know, legitimate business acumen. You've got these powerhouse talents. I mean, they'll outshine me any goddamn day, but you know, they don't have the right approach to how they're handling their skill and the way that they market that skill to the public and professionally. Whereas you look at somebody like J. Scott Campbell, who is this monster businessman as well as an amazing artist. That's why he's like this unstoppable force in nature, where he's just like, I'm going to do all the things. And you're just like, yes, yes, you are. And we're just going to be here for it and enjoy it and go along for the ride. Right, guys?
Absolutely. It's, I mean, yeah, you brought up J. Scott Campbell. You know, he's a community favorite, obviously, as far as artists goes. And, you know, we're all guilty, and I don't say guilty, but a lot of the community dollars goes to that man's artwork for sure. You know,
I know. Hashtag squad goals.
Yeah.
Well, see, I mean, I've had the privilege of being able to talk to him, or at least listen to him when he's been pontificating business wise. And, you know, one of the things that he always says is that, you know, you should create something of your own, which is why I'm like, okay, I'm just going to go ahead and just do this. So I am taking the advice. That's what I've done.
Do it.
So my wife has a question for you.
Yes, the wife.
Not be named.
She wants to know, are we all intentionally wearing red tonight?
Oh my God.
No,
Is that for carnal? Tell me it's for carnal.
It's for carnal, baby.
All red. I'm so here for this.
So that's really funny that she noticed that. Was there another question? I think someone asked how they could get a signed book by you.
Well, at a con, obviously, I'll sign anything. You know, it's not a big deal.
True, I still have it on my chest.
Like I call that my Katy Perry wink, where she's like. Anyway,
I'm just joking.
Can
I get a sketch, please?
I'm gonna use the nipple as the iris. Unless you got like dinner plate nipples, then I gotta make it into anime.
You haven't seen my nipples, girl.
I have like Eiffel Tower nipples personally, but
what? What is that even?
I mean, they're always pointing. I'm always excited, even when I'm not excited.
I'm gonna Google that shit.
Like that, though.
I need to coin that shit. I gotta trademark that right now.
This is my God created padded bras for women. I'm just saying.
Well, that's true.
No, so in terms of signing, like I said, find me at a con, or there are plenty of people who work as like convention in-betweens. So like Stephen Rose is one of them. Stephen McDonald's another. These are all kind of like art dealers or they're mostly art dealers. Well, I don't know. What is their freaking term? I don't know what their title is, but they basically have like these groups online, like on Facebook and things, where you can go join in and they say, hey, I'm going to this con. So-and-so roster is going to be there. Do you want this? If that doesn't work, you are always welcome to shoot me an email. I will give you my manager's mailing address, and you can pay for postage, send it to me. I'll sign it for free, send it back.
Oh man, I got a short box in the mail now.
That's going to be expensive shipping, honey. But
Oh,
you know, do you, boo boo, live your best life.
So,
what are the questions? I'm a little tipsy, so now's the time.
yeah, you're gonna get the truth out.
Fire it up. Fire it up.
Let's see here. My wife, she says she's always telling me to put my nipples away. Jerk. Hey, one of the guys wants to know if you have an example of the La Muerta cover that you were doing for the Kickstarter or for Coffin Comics, or something La Muerta that you can show. I can't figure out the split screen thing. Otherwise, I'd be able to help with that.
Yeah. Hold on. You know what I'm going to... Can I do a link in the chat or something? Is that a possibility? Because I can actually... I posted it. Hold on. Un momento. I got this. In the meantime, ask me another question.
We get disconnected. Hang tight.
I did?
Okay.
Wait, what happened? I got disconnected?
No, I was joking. I said if we just yeah, just
oh, okay, hold on. So where did I post it on? Oh, I posted it on DeviantArt. Excuse me. This is not the colored version. But hold on. Copy image address. So this is the black and whites that I did. Where's the chat? Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and subscribe to you. Where's the where can I comment? Oh, there I can comment on something. Here you go, guys. So remove the web addresses and try again. I can't do web addresses here. Can I do and upload a photo?
You should be able to.
I don't see that option. It doesn't let me, which is weird. That sucks.
Well, here's what I'll do. You can shoot me the link in Messenger, and I'll just post it onto the comment later.
Jason, calm down, buddy. Calm down. Like,
wait, who's what now?
Jason.
Oh, this guy.
Well, that's the black and white that I did. The color here, you can do something with this. Let me grab it real quick off my computer.
I'll see
what
what
I
I can
little
do.
res that Brian sends me that I'm allowed to share. So hold on, projects. Coffin Comics, La Muerta, covers.
Look at us figuring out shit live.
Are the two... Okay, there you go, John. I just sent them to you. So these are the two colored covers that I've done for La Muerta.
Okay. La Muerta. I like when you say it like that, girl.
La Muerta. Well, that's how you say it, isn't it? I don't know. I'm not saying it. I got nothing. Yeah. I know like 3 words. That's not true. I did that stupid quiz thing that was like, if you know so and so many different phrases in Spanish, then you're like, whatever.
Estalo baño.
All I know is that I took Latin in college at university, so I can figure most things out.
Habla español, por favor.
I do know how to say fire because I used to smoke cigarettes, and when I lived in Florida, I had to ask for lighters.
Like, I need fire.
Awego. That was like my thing. I quit smoking. Don't smoke, children. Smoking is bad.
Yeah. Take it from Sister Sorah.
It was fun while it lasted.
It was fun while it lasted. I was never a heavy smoker. I was always a social smoker when I drank. Was my thing.
You were smoking Newports, weren't you?
How'd you know? I feel so red.
I'm wearing red.
Are there other questions? Should I start telling stories?
I posted a link in the chat, guys, so you can go see that picture.
Esco has a question. He says, "Do you have any favorite European artists?"
Oh, yes, I do. Well, Adi Granoff, obviously, because he's well, Linda and Steven Sajak. Oh my God, those two are like. I always say, like, there are 3 people who can draw beefcake in this industry appropriately. There's me, there's Megan Hatchick, and then there's Sajak. So yeah, I love him. I love her. I love Granoff. Oh God, I hate that my brain's not working. He's an Italian.
Lucio Perillo.
Huh?
Lucio Perillo.
No, but I do love his. I mean, I do like his artwork too. There's a lot. There's a lot of great Italian artists, which of course make me feel very insecure and not as good. I'm half Sicilian and I'm half Korean, so I feel like I should be like better than everybody because I have best of both worlds. But I don't think
if you're not better, then you gotta freaking kill them.
No. I am not a genocidal maniac here. But yeah, so I mean, the ones that I can absolutely name off the top of my head are obviously Adi Granoff and then the Stajics, both husband and wife. They're glorious and fabulous.
I have a question. I hope I don't butcher this for you. I had questions about your perspective on female characters. What constitutes a unique female perspective? In other words, not just male perspectives coming from a female character.
Oh, yeah, that's a really good question. The reason actually goes back to what I was talking about with Carnal Confessions and how the women were responding to it so strongly because they were like, they felt that they were able to connect with it better than other things that have been obviously written by men. So so you're asking what constitutes a different or just period a female perspective? How would you?
I don't know. I'm just reading it. That's how it takes. I'll see if he gives a different answer.
Okay.
I'm trying to back up to his original question. I was just waiting for the time to ask the question. He said, what are the attributes you exhibit in your female characters? Are they really just male typical attributes?
No. So here's my argument in terms of, I mean, if we're talking about creativity, I mean, just creating and writing and stuff at that ilk. So a lot of writers, a lot of dude writers, God bless them, like to talk about the fact that, well, I wrote a guy and then put tits on her. Like, I mean, that's all he did. Like, I changed into a woman. And I'm like, okay, that works to a certain degree. Because of my psych background, like to get into the nitty gritty of what motivations are. Not just this person's motivated for XYZ, but like, why are they motivated for XYZ? So for me, that extra layer counts for a lot. And so this is why I'm really kind of fucked up about certain things like with gender bending and with race bending. Like I get the motivation behind it. I get the need for it. I do. But at the same time, it's like there has to be a certain amount of this is a different universe because the motivations are so different. What a woman is motivated by to do XYZ action is inherently different than what a man's motivated by to do XYZ action. If we're talking stereotypical heterosexual, male, female. With that said, you can have a lot of crossover, but we are not simply defined by our genitalia or what we are presented as. The world treats us differently, and thusly we respond to the world differently. So that's why when other writers, male writers specifically, are like, well, I can really write women because I basically just write a dude and make it a woman. I'm like, well, that doesn't work because you don't know what it's like. So, for example, there was a Reddit thread a couple years ago that like blew everyone's mind apparently. And to women, we were like, well, duh. But it blew everyone's mind because somebody asked a Ask Reddit Anything question, and it was when was the moment that you realized that you were being sexualized? And all women had almost literally the same fucking story. We were all about 10, 11 to 13 years old. We were all just hitting puberty, so we had little mosquito bites. And all of a sudden, there was an older dude, a creepy older dude who'd been completely benign before, now all of a sudden going like, how you doing? And it was, and all of a sudden now you are thrust with the responsibility of being a sexual creature. And before that, I was just a kid. Like, I mean, imagine the stark difference between I'm just a child, like any Joe Blow over here, and now it's like, oh, now I have to like protect my vagina and hide my non-existent tits because this over here is like all up in my business. And you're confused at first because no one really explains this to you. God bless our mothers. They don't really tell you. You know, older generations are kind of like, stay away from so-and-so. You're like, but why? And they're like, you don't need to know. And you're like, okay. So, well, they didn't really explain shit to you. Just kind of like, you shouldn't be doing this. Why? I just don't do it. I'm like, okay. So from the time that we are 12, all of a sudden now we are sexual creatures. all of a sudden we are responsible, the gatekeepers of male sexuality, because we are held responsible for not only our sexual preferences and sexuality, but now your sexual preferences and sexuality. So it's like, because you think about like all this stuff happening in schools with dress codes. Well, I can't wear a spaghetti strap in high school because some guy's gonna get a boner because he saw my bare fucking shoulder. That's ridiculous. So I'm just saying is that like, so that's why I think it's funny when guys are like, well, I write a dude and then make it into a chick. I'm like, that's not how that works. Like,
you know, even from like my perspective as a reader, you can tell when that's happened.
Yeah.
Like
it's not right. Just like, you know, and not to say that, oh, only women can write women or only women can write good women. There's plenty of female characters that I absolutely love and adore that were written by men. But there's definitely a difference when a woman writes a woman or when a man writes a man than reversed, because we view the motivations differently. We look at men as kind of in a way as almost predators, right? And I don't mean that in like, oh, they're all creepy and scary, but I mean, huh? What?
We are all creepy and scary.
No. I've been surrounded by dudes my whole life. Like, are you kidding me? No, but like we tend to the male motivation tends to be pretty basic, but that's the nature of societal norms and rules that are not right. So, for example, one of the things that my friends and I, upon turning 18, 19 years old, bitched about was that we were constantly, these are my girlfriends, we were constantly fed the lie that guys thought about sex 24/7. It's cute that men have perpetuated that fucking lie, but it is a goddamn lie, because men don't think about sex 24/7. I know that because a lot of my exes have not thought about sex 24/7, trust and believe. And so it becomes a problem when you go, wait a minute, I thought that like men were like these constant sexual predatory creatures, and they're not. So we end up projecting, I think males project this expectation on women and vice versa, where, you know, it doesn't always pan out is what I'm trying to say. That was a really long-winded answer. I blame my wine.
You know what? He said he appreciates your answer. He was looking for something small, and he really is. What you gave him was great. So he is very, very happy with your answer. I think it's fair, because I don't think it's an easy, short answer. I think you could sum it up and say XYZ, but I'm pretty sure it's a very in-depth problem or situation. Shouldn't say problem, but it can be a problem. It can be problematic, because I can talk about this for days, but it's just from my own personal childhood and things that transpired to my sisters or myself even. Because I had, from a guy's point of view, I had a cousin. It wasn't really a cousin, but he was labeled a cousin because he was close to the family. He was the guy they all told me to watch out for.
Okay, see, but it's like the same thing, right? And that,
yeah. Because Eiffel Tower and Naples.
Right.
That's where they come from. He tweaked
them.
No, but like,
you come here wearing that tank top, boy, making me have nasty thoughts.
I mean, not to get into the realm of abuse too much, but it's, I mean, again, I majored in psychology, and I know all the statistics. It's actually really fucking frightening when you learn the numbers of abuse and fuck the near abuse. I'm talking about the actual abuse that we even know about. It is more common. I would say we all think of the Leave It to Beaver story of pure America, or pure the world, forget America, just the world of being like that. There's a mom, there's a dad, there's children, it's a small town and everything's fine and blah, blah, blah. But the majority of it, actually, that's not the norm. That's freak. That is a freak ideal, because the norm of it is all kinds of jacked up, which is why I think people like tragic stories.
Yeah, Leave It to Beaver is like a robot story.
Yeah, that's like some crazy. That is crazy.
Cool, Dad. I'm gonna make good grades.
Okay. It's just not to say that it can't happen. I know, I like the arm move. No, not to say that it can happen. It's just that it's super rare, because you dive into any significant amount of conversation with any given person, any in-depth conversation, you find out that something happened, man. They were beat, they were molested, something. There's something there. There's always something there.
I don't know. I mean, yeah, there's always something. I mean, you talk about perspectives, My dad was the kind of dad that was just like, go get that pussy, boy, like You know, it was kind of. I mean, he related to me, but that's what it was. It was just kind of like.
Which in itself could be psychologically abusive. You think about it, right? Because it's like your dad is you to just be like this horrible, like man-child, like fuckathon.
But I mean, I'm saying, like if he, like, I guess he would figure like something was wrong with me if I wasn't trying to get laid. Like if
Right.
it's just like like I'm sorry if I want to have a relationship, but it's just like nope. It's like, why are you so concerned about me getting my dick wet? It's like to me that's kind of weird. Like, get out my business, man.
You know how like we used to have like home ec classes and shop class back in the days like this. I think that we need parenting classes. I mean, just period, a basic level, because there's so much stuff that people don't think about, when they're raising their children, and it just perpetuates the cycle of like fucked upness. Not that I'm saying that you're gonna fuck your kids, Poe. Do you have kids? I have no idea if you have kids.
Yes.
I have a child.
You're gonna fuck up that kid. No, I'm just joking.
I got 8 kids.
Well, it's kind of interesting because I mean, well, I could go into like regional things, for the whole United States.
Thanks a lot, Pope's therapist, for opening up this gateway of
yeah. This is my wheelhouse because she studied psychology. I love psychology. I was her psychology patient at the Seattle Comic Convention. She was like, "Oh, I would love to pick your brain." I'm like, "No, you wouldn't."
It was just fascinating because of your backstory. Like I said, I love really getting into why people do things. I've only ever met one person who I would consider to be as equally fucked up as the rest of us.
Thank you.
Has no backstory. Like, not really. I think that's why he fascinates me so much. But I've known one guy who's like that. It's like he's got he's screwed up in the same way the rest of us are, but he had the most benign, vanilla, beige ass backstory, or lack of backstory, that I'm just like.
What do you mean by vanilla? Like Irish potato picker?
I'm saying vanilla and just beige, just like.
It's boring.
Huh?
I like
like nothing happened. Nothing bad, nothing traumatic happened to this guy, but he
was still messed up.
Huh?
And he was still messed up.
Nothing traumatic.
And I don't mean like in a bad way. I mean, I love and adore him, but yeah, he's like still kind of messed up. Where I'm like, and to me, as given my background, that's totally fascinating because I'm like, you shouldn't be messed up, and yet here we are. Yeah.
You're an anomaly.
He's a total anomaly.
Yeah.
Part of me wonders, I've known him for forever now, and part of me wonders like if I ever found out like what it was that actually made him tick, if I just get bored and be like, okay, bye. Like, I figured you out now, bye. But I would not abandon a good friend like that. No, said Sorah, at all. So, yeah.
Oh man. Good stuff, Sorah. I knew you would be the perfect guest for this show for us.
Because I talk too much? Because I'm social?
No.
I'm way too social?
Oh, not at all. This is good stuff. That's Pope and I. We talk too much anyway, so it's nice to have a female perspective on the show to break up our our beer drinking.
Yeah, our beer.
But
speaking of which, you're gonna have to pardon me. I gotta go get more.
I know. I ran out of wine. I'm seriously bummed about this.
Go fill up. I can hold the chat for a moment.
Okay.
Intermission. And meanwhile, I'm flying solo. I'm going to be doing a giveaway tonight. Woohoo! You guys ready for a giveaway?
Did somebody say giveaway?
Yeah. Damn, where did that guy come from?
He just ran over there, boy. I ain't dumb.
Oh, beer run is exactly done. So, I'm going to give a quick moment. Thank you guys for joining us again tonight.
You guys are awesome.
I'm hoping that this is something we can kind of build on down the road with more artists or creators. It doesn't have to be an artist. But, I really appreciate Sorah. She'll be back in a minute with her wine. But, if you guys haven't had a chance to check out our website, I will put it in the description of this video. And, check her out. You know, she does have prints for sale and things of that nature, but you know, she does a lot of amazing art. I'm not going to tell you to hit her up for a commission because it's like 40, 50 people.
Say it, dude.
Yeah, she has an amazing list. I do have a commission coming from her. Unfortunately, it's at CBCS, so I may not get it until Christmas. You know, who the hell knows? But it would have been awesome to have it tonight so you guys could actually see her version of Ms. Marvel.
I feel as like you put her on the spot. She shows up and you're like, man, it'd really be nice to have that.
Yeah, so
I drew that piece in perspective where you're like looking down at her, right? And so many people thought I drew her with like giant bazooms. And I'm like, no, you're just looking at her from this point of view. But it's really funny because
on the one you did for me?
Yeah.
Yeah, it absolutely looks like you just put like this rack on her, and it was like.
No, it's from a top-down perspective.
Oh, I get it. But I could see how people are thinking that way. So as I was saying, it would have been awesome to have it here, but unfortunately, it's at CBCS getting graded or slabbed.
Just link the photo, honey.
Huh?
Just link the photo. I'll give you a link. Hold on.
You're send me all this stuff.
Well, I already have my DeviantArt open, so I may as well go to my gallery.
I'll put all her sites on here, and I'll be honest with you guys. If you aren't on Instagram, you guys should head over there. You know, you can follow myself. You can follow Sorah. Pope, are you on Instagram?
Yes, sir. But I was going to say, don't call me out right now. Because I don't even think I'm following you on Instagram. What a bad.
Yeah, I'll put all of her links and stuff in the description once we're done with this show. But do you ever go to Portland? Question, Sorah?
I actually was just in Portland. I've not been to Rose City, if that's what you're asking. I've not been to Rose City Comic Con.
So yes, I'm guessing they probably don't care if you just hang out in Portland and don't go to convention.
I was there literally a couple weeks ago. Come at me.
Like, yeah, I went there for some weenies at the Buffalo Shop.
I would love to go. I mean, it's hard for me to go to the West Coast simply because of the cost of it. But I mean, if I get invited to go to a con or if I'm, you know, kind of a thing, then yeah, hell yeah, I'm totally happy to go. Hold on. Let me message you. Okay, there's your cover. I forgot that one was yours.
Yeah, right. CBCS probably forgot how to grade too.
Oh my God, I'm convinced my dog's in here, but I'm going crazy.
No Pepper?
No, Pepper's asleep.
We got a puppy.
Did you get a
dog?
Yeah, we have a baby pit bull.
Pepper is a miniature a long hair mini dachshund.
He's so sweet though. Your Pepper is sweet.
He is amazing. He's sweet Pepper. Sweet Pepper.
Oopsie, give away the prizes.
Yeah, I got some prizes for you guys. So I just put a link in there. You guys can check out her commission that she did for me. That's at CBCS. So maybe I'll be able to do an unboxing video for Christmas. Because
if John or Pope
get that randomizer ready.
I don't have randomizer. The wife's on strike.
She's on strike.
What's up?
I was saying if John or Pope are willing to deal with the shipping, I can give away some prints.
I will deal with the shipping. You guys hear that in the chat?
What prints do I have? Oh.
You guys want some giveaways from Sorah? You want some prints? Not for my house, because my wife would neuter me.
Prince.
Like when doves cry, prints. Purple rain, prints.
Purple.
I have a lot. Like, how do you do this giveaway thing? Do you like have a little contest or something?
Well, normally we'll do like trivia, or you know, we'll do randomizer, and just whoever's in the chat will just throw their name in the randomizer and let it make it rain. So we usually do 2 or 3 contests per night, but I think we'll just do an all-encompassing one tonight since it's kind of getting late. And since you probably have to work. Oh, wait. You're on your own time.
This is like no time. Like, as soon as she's done with this, she probably has to like draw for 2 hours and then like get half an hour of sleep. Thank you.
So what I'm giving away tonight is a pseudo run here of Rebirth Justice League. I got a nice little stack here for you guys. 21, 23, 25, 26, 27, 29, and 30. If I have the other missing two somewhere in this house, I will put those in this lot as well. So I'm going to add that to the group, to this thing.
Keep talking.
Then Sorah's got some prints she wants to give
Our
away.
guest disappear.
So I don't know what I know. Pope's giving away some Dan Mendoza signed stuff tonight. If that's what you're still doing.
Yeah, I don't want to. Don't make it sound like it's a lot. It's a book.
Well, now it's half a book. But anyways, just as kind of we're gonna do a little thank you here for all y'all that came out to party with us tonight. Drink some beers, chat some comics. What do you got there, Ninjak? What is this?
This is my cover I did for Ninjak. It's a Spider-Man 3.
Nice.
Well, look at that. Is it signed?
I can sign it.
Really?
On this contest. F y'all. Come on.
Like, he just bounces out. Get in the chat quick, Pope. Go subscribe. Get in there. Hey, someone asked earlier though, really quick. Someone had asked.
He's 37 years old. He likes shark tooth.
He does love shark tits. That is for sure. And but someone asked earlier if you have a YouTube channel yourself, Sorah.
Yeah, but not that I use it a lot. It's Sorah COH, I think is the thing. But I did do a couple of Lady Death time lapse videos on there just as a tester. But I tend to host things on that, but I don't really drive people to there. I use YouTube more as a hosting vehicle for like my website and Facebook and things.
So someone wants to know if you could show that Ninja cover again.
Yeah, hold on. I'll take it out of the sleeve so you can actually.
Has anyone ever drank M43 NE Indian Pale Ale? I have not personally.
That sounds dangerous, Brandon. I'm never gonna drink that.
Can you guys see? Can you put it towards your right shoulder? There you go.
Oh, are you only getting like it cropped? I can't tell.
Yeah, it's good. That's good right there. You're good.
I know, but it's glaring. How's that? There we go.
That's beautiful cover.
It is very nice. So you guys get that? So she's going to be giving away a
everybody loves that homage. Everybody loves that homage.
Oh my God, I know, seriously. What's really funny is that when I was working with Valiant to do this, I actually, on the original artwork, I did the entire London cityscape because this particular story had him based in London. So I did the whole cityscape because they were like, oh, well, we're not going to do the whole circle.
And then they just like.
And then they did. I was like, what the fuck? I drew that whole city for no reason.
What are you doing? What are you doing? Can I at least get a virgin cover with the London on there?
Apparently,
come on.
That would have been sweet.
Yeah,
that would have been awesome.
It was a fun cover to do. I'll be doing that. I did this with Legends Comics and Games out of Fresno, California, and I'll be doing some more covers with them.
Yeah,
yeah,
like store exclusive type stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You ever work with Unknown Comics?
Yes. I cannot tell you what it is that's coming up, but I have something coming out with them. So it's actually super cool. It's with two other artists that I will not, because I don't know what I'm allowed to say, not to say. It's with two other artists. We did this cool ass collaboration, like this super dope collaboration. And that's supposedly coming out for Amazing Las Vegas, but I don't actually know for sure. So that's a question mark, but it's soon. It's soon. It's either this month or next month, but it's gonna be dope. But yeah, that's with Unknown, which is really Darren over at Unknown is super cool and he's super nice.
Yeah, Darren seems like a nice guy. I've bought a ton of shit from them over the past year and a half.
He's a monster with his variants, man. He's just like boom, 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 boom. Yeah. So I feel very privileged that I got to work with them. So happy to.
Can you say who you're doing the jam project with or the collaboration?
I don't think I am. I don't want to step on anybody's toes, so I don't think I'm allowed to say.
Okay, that's
but
fair.
They're both wonderful, amazing people, and again, I'm honored to have joined them. One of them is one of my favorite artists ever.
I have to say, the toughest thing for you to go through is to be like, I'm working on a project, but I can't tell you what it's about.
Oh, it's the worst. It's actually the worst. It is the literal worst because
so bad, but I can't.
And some companies are really like super strict about it too, and you're just like, and then I feel bad, especially if like artist friends who are not like friends with me, but I just know them. They're asking me what I'm working on. I'm like, I can't tell you. And they're like, well, you can tell me. I'm like, but can I? Because like, can I trust you? I don't know, because I don't know you that well.
Like,
I basically, yeah, I had to keep myself pretty freaking like whatever.
Yeah, I got pretty spoiled for a while with like Natalie Sanders because she would send me all of her deals before she could release them, and I would know like in advance like Unknown Comics is going to put this up for sale, so I would just be like pre-order as soon as it came up. But I was really spoiled because I know she would have gotten in a shit ton of trouble, especially with the Marvel and DC stuff she was doing because they were super.
They're super strict with it.
Yeah.
I did want to mention by the fact that if anybody is interested in original artwork of mine, like my cover art, specifically my cover art, my high-end pinups, all of my original cover art is being dealt with Diamond International Galleries through their website, their brand new website, which is digauction.com. So I'll be making announcements on my art page and my website whenever they go live on the selling of it. Because I basically, literally, all my covers for the last fucking year, I've not sold. So like, because they're all sitting with them, so they're gonna host like a huge. I don't know if anyone's an art collector.
Yeah, I'm sure there are. If you just send me that link, and I'll post it in this thing too, because I didn't even know that's where you did your artwork. I only see the stuff at the show.
Yeah, well, I remember how I said like people would ask me like, is that for sale? Is that for sale? I'm like, well, no, because like I was waiting to give it to Diamond. So now they've got their site up and running, and I just talked to the guys at MegaCon, and they're like, okay, well, they were fixing some apparatus stuff, and now they should be good to go to start auctioning off my original artwork. So
someone said, can you give us a hint? That would be Escargot 80
for the thing I'm doing for Lost or for Unknown.
Yeah.
No.
Well, there are, like, including me, there are 3 artists on it. Thusly, you would have to surmise there has to be at least 3 figures on this thing. There's my hints.
What's a book coming out soon with 3 characters, guys? Let's think about this. Anyways, someone said it's like you're on the TV show Survivor and you can't talk about it when you want to not.
Yeah, it's frustrating. And also, the other thing too, you also don't want to jinx it too. So unless things are like signed, contracted, or like it's good to go, you also don't want to jinx it. I had a book basically. I was gonna do a book with who was it? Teenie Howard. She was writing it. I was gonna draw it, and we got a green lit by the publisher, and they were gonna give us a what's it called when they give you a front end deal? Like they give you money up front. I can't remember what that's called.
Like an advance?
Thank you. Yeah. Wine.
Like they fronted you.
One more bottle of wine, we'll get the answers out of you.
Woo! Yeah. So they were going to give us an advance and everything, and I was super excited for it. And then it went nowhere. So you almost don't want to jinx it talking about it because you're like, well, what if it doesn't happen? Then you look like a jackass because you're talking about something that doesn't ever come true.
That probably happens a lot though in the industry that people don't realize.
It does. It happens a lot. There are. I know. You know, a lot. You look at a lot of the, especially the So like every company has like their own version of like, you know, what Brian Polito does with his like vault, where he just has like this amazing amount of artwork that he can release at any given time. So I know a lot of artists have done like all these amazing covers for like Marvel and DC that just never get used. They got paid for it. It just never got used for whatever reason. It was never used. And it could be, you know, and they could use it for not 10 years. And then, oh, we're going to throw this on top of a trade that has this one character on it for kicks and giggles. Like, who cares? So are we staring at your butt? What's going on, Pope?
You're staring at my butt.
Yeah, we are. Let's see if the beer bottle fits in there.
So speaking of trauma.
Yeah, it'll be fine.
No, I was going to see if maybe this was getting close.
No. Although, yeah, no. That's That's something that's related to something else that is somewhere in my wheelhouse.
In the
But
stratosphere.
But you're welcome. You're welcome.
So do you have a dream project that you would like to work on?
yes, I want to do a miniseries with Captain America and Black Widow.
What?
I want to do a miniseries with Captain America and Black Widow.
That's your dream project?
That is my personal goal project at Marvel. Is that I want to, obviously, as a penciler, work for Marvel, and I want to do a miniseries. And I think that those two characters are a great pairing story-wise because they have such disparate philosophies of life. So again, that allows for really great conflict and motivations, discussions, as it were. I would plot it. I wouldn't write it myself. Again, the reason I'm doing Carnal Confessions as prose is because I can get away with writing prose. I think scripting a comic book is much more difficult than writing prose. I think everybody's used to writing prose because we've been writing prose our whole life since our school ages. But scripting is a skill. You can be a great writer. It doesn't mean you're a great scripter. It doesn't mean you're a great comic book writer. You have to think about so many different things, especially if you're doing a full script or a DC style script. If you're doing that, then it's like, you have to dictate where the characters are standing in perspective of the camera, how many panels are on per page for pacing purposes, and at the end of each page, there has to be, quote unquote, a page turner. There has to be something that forces the reader to go from the end of the panel of the spine of the book to the beginning of the next page, or to turn that page. So like that is a mindset that my brain doesn't necessarily work with. In prose, I can do that. I can leave a cliffhanger or like a dun 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 at the end of a chapter, like I did with this chapter 2, right? But but scripting is a whole skill set that I will definitely give props to writers and comics for. So, but I love co-plotting. I love creating that capacity. And yes, Captain America, my love, my husband, and Black Widow. I want to do a mini series on them. I actually have an entire pitch. I won't tell y'all because that would spoil it. So
fair enough.
But I do have an entire pitch based on like, here's what I would do if I had a shot at playing around with them for 4 issues. Like, come at me.
Keep drinking. Tell us everything. Like, I'm not going to tell you the plot, but here it goes.
Listen, just between us. Just between us. So that's my dream one. Although, honestly, like, I've been talking to Ryan about it too.
Which Ryan?
O'Sullivan, the guy who I'm doing he's editing my story that we're going to do.
Yeah, I gotcha.
I kind of feel like, if we got kind of stuck playing in our own little sandbox for forever, I think we'd be completely fine with that.
Sure. I mean, why not?
Yeah.
Make a nice, was it the artist Ethan Van Sciver? He kind of sticks with Green Lantern.
Right. Yeah.
It's kind of his thing. I don't know if he does other things or not. I see his YouTube channel every once in a while, but I don't know much about the fella. So, what are you laughing about?
Nothing. Let's just okay, moving on.
Yeah, fine. Yeah, I suppose he has a very different worldview than a lot of people. So I've got this. Let's just not. Anyway. Carry on. So this giveaway. What are we going to do?
I'm just, me. I'm not somebody who talks about that kind of stuff publicly.
Yeah. No, I gotcha. I respect that. I didn't realize anything. I just was simply stating a person.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. You're good.
He's one of the only people that I see consistently putting up YouTube videos that are comic artists. So that's the only reason it triggered my brain. So what are we gonna do for this giveaway, Pope?
Yeah,
that's a good question.
I have a trivia question, but I think it should be
rock and roll. What is it?
Well, my question was going to be, who was the first publisher that Sorah worked for, and see how soon they can get the answer. But I think a lot of people have gone from earlier in the night, and
I'm so sorry. I'm so boring that people bailed.
We're not boring at
We
all.
have new people. Like it's like a whole shift change at work. You get the certain crowd at this time, then it goes into another time zone. It's amazing. What's up, Kawaka? So if anyone can answer the question in the chat, you will win a prize.
Go ahead and repeat the question if you will.
Hey, Brandon won. Brandon Stolinski. Ding, 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 ding.
Never mind. Brandon got it.
All right. So congratulations, Brandon. Just message me your address, and you will get the prizes. That will be these DC books, as well as whatever Sorah's got over there. She has a, I believe it's a
The ninja.
signed. She's going to sign this Ninjak book for you.
This was the first book I worked on. This was a mini-series.
Oh, nice. Where was that half an hour ago?
Oh, sorry. This is Iron Man Legacy of Doom on Ron Lim. And actually, I designed this logo. I have a funny story with this logo. You see how the sword's white?
Yeah.
Okay, so Moose Bauman, who's a dear friend of mine who I love and adore, actually, he colors a lot of the Green Lantern stuff. So Moose Bauman hadn't finished coloring the book yet, and so he hadn't finished coloring. Not that he was late, but Excalibur is in the story, and the sword was not colored. It wasn't true. So I told my editor, I was like, hey, so we'll just leave this white for now, because I did this logo. I was like, we'll just leave it white, and then whenever he chooses the color, we'll throw that sword on, like whatever. They never did that, so the sword remains in black and white for no reason.
So Brandon won the trivia question, and he wanted to know if you would be willing to sign that book for him.
Yeah, to him.
Yeah, I'll ask him. He just said, "Can I get a signature on that?"
So is he winning the books that you showed and her book?
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow, that's a you gave an easy question for that one, babe.
Well, that's how I roll, because like I said, Pope's gonna do his own thing, whatever he wants to do to give away some Dan Mendoza.
Own thing.
Or if you want to ask questions, or you can do some trivia questions too. We don't have no problem with that.
Yeah, let's do that. If you have a trivia question, whoever answers your blah 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 trivia question.
So
I can get really fucking obscure though. I don't know if I need to be doing that. Like
Brandon just wants you to sign it. Don't address it to him.
Got it.
So how do you sign your name? You have one of the most unique signatures. You guys see that?
It's gotten super like loose since I started, actually. So let me show you how I used to do it.
This is the family show, and you keep it clean.
Like the way that it actually is supposed to be is supposed to look like this.
A blank piece of paper?
Do you guys see it?
Oh.
Yeah, I see it.
Okay, so that's how it's supposed to look. But as I've gotten like more into the signatures, it's gotten super loopy.
That's a really cool signature. I like that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So actually, my first mentor helped me design this signature because my signatures used to suck.
Wow.
So I actually stole his O, which came from, yeah. So I stole his O, which he stole the O from Bob Kane. So I've grandfathered the Bob Kane O.
Grandfathered. Ooh.
John, I need you to send me your mailing address so I can send you this book. Or just we'll work it out tomorrow or whatever.
Yeah, I'll chat with you. We'll probably just send it directly to the guy from your house. I'll just shoot you the shipping. I'll cover the shipping this time.
This time. Oh, next
Pray
time.
I don't change the deal. What's it? Pray I don't shit. What's Darth Vader's quote?
I don't know.
I don't change the deal any further. Shit.
Yeah.
I'm butchering it. I'm butchering.
Thanks for the Star Wars. That was awesome.
I'm trying. I've been drawing nothing but Star Wars all day today. It's been ridiculous.
Did you get my request for Darth Talon?
Further.
What? Hold on. What'd you say, Pope?
He says, "Pray that I don't alter the deal."
Thank you.
Further.
That alter, not change. Alter the deal further. Yeah, thank you.
Are you gonna do the Darth Talon that I requested?
You gonna pay me?
Maybe.
I've got so many people. Like I told, man, we talked about this. I'm like the wait list, man.
I didn't want it for myself. I just want to see you do a Darth Talon. You're a Sith Lord in the making. I can feel it.
When I used to play Star Wars Galaxies,
You were Darth Knight.
I was actually a Twi'lek dancer, and then I basically unionized all the Mos Eisley Cantina dancers, and I had a flying gentleman's yacht that took over my real life. And yeah, so I had different tiers on my yacht, and like you had to pay to get on, and then if you pay, you had like the bronze level, the silver level, the gold level, and like the bronze level was like your basic strip club. Then there was like a little more private VIP rooms, and then there was like the VIP room, which it was like anything goes. I was the owner of the yacht. So like I said, I unionized the girls. It was so great. Because this was a role play server. I unionized the girls, and I got a cut of everything that they made, and I was the madam. It was great, and it got to the point that I used to have a cruise going every 2 hours, and I was losing real sleep over it because people were doing it was a game, and some people could not make it.
Oh damn! Oh shit!
No, but listen, they didn't have enough credits to pay me in game, so I started to make real life fucking money off of this shit because they couldn't make the transfer. And I was like, okay, so I played this game for like I don't know, 3 to 6 months, and I realized I gotta fucking quit. Like this is just taking over my life.
That's my favorite thing so far. Like you woke up.
So I was like, I should stop. This is becoming untenable. So I quit. But yeah, I had a Twilight dancer that became basically a madam of a strip club.
That's awesome. You're awesome.
That's
and I have
roll.
to say, four-way flasher and Pope C. It's the Darth Vader quote. It's pray I don't alter it further.
Alter it further.
Yep. So credit goes out to you
right now. I should have fucking known that. Like literally, the worst. I am the worst.
Escargo 80 said it was alter the deal.
Okay, so 3 people.
I think it's alter it further. It's like that wasn't because doesn't Lando's like that wasn't the deal, and he's like, we should just Google this. We're on the internet.
No. This had nothing to do with Lando. This is when he was on the Death Star talking to one of the generals, right?
No. It's Empire Strikes Back. It's Lando.
Just blow up the Death Star. Just blow up the fucking Death Star.
Right? Oh my
Just
god.
go down the and shoot the missile. It happens in every movie. We are
Hold on, Fran Walker further. Know your meme. I'm going there. Here it is. 1980s. Empire Strikes Back in your fucking face. From Darth Vader to Lando Calrissian. Come at me. Fuck all y'all.
Fuck me.
Nerd mic drop.
That means I have to give away my Star Wars shit.
I do feel like it. Do I get to inherit it?
Yes, why not? I fucked up. Give me your address. I'll send it to you.
On the fucking Death Star. How dare you? How dare you, sir?
How dare I? How dare I?
Looks like I got a new co-host. See ya, Pope. Thursday nights, Comics and Cold Ones with Sorah and JP.
No, I deserve to
get what really needs to happen, John, is that I tend to write on Sundays, although I think this week I'm writing on a Saturday. But I tend to write on Sundays, and I take the Hemingway method of writing, which is write drunk, edit sober. And so, FYI, everything that I write for Carnal Confessions, I'm pretty buzzed.
Makes sense.
So what's really great is that there's whole segments of Carnal Confessions that the editing process becomes quite hilarious because you can tell that as it gets towards the end of the chapter that I've just gotten progressively drunker. Poor Ryan's like, Sorah, what the fuck were you trying to say? Look, I got no idea. Like, let me try to fix this. So sometimes I own it, sometimes I don't. But I'm saying that we should do it. We should do a podcast after I'm like, you know, a bottle of wine in, after I've done writing my chapter.
Well, Pope C says Darth Vader says, "Pray I don't take off this cod piece and get jiggy with your Cinnabons, princess."
Wow, there's so many references in that. Like,
that just makes me want to have a Cinnabon. Like,
that makes me want to listen to Will Smith. Remember when Will Smith like took over the world in the 90s, man? Jesus.
Yeah. Wicka, 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 wow,
Do we
wow.
have any more stuff to give away, by the way?
Do I?
no,
I do. I have Void Trip.
Perfect.
Hold on.
I'll take the time, boy.
Wait, ask your question. Hold on. Let me get the book.
You asked the question. What kind of question you want to ask?
I thought she was going to give a trivia question. Son of a bitch. I mean, should I make it really easy? What should I do?
I don't know, man. It's no pressure.
All right. The first person to tell me my favorite part of the shark anatomy will win.
How I've not woken up my dog is a fucking amazing.
Wow. Maybe I.
Someone said the fin. They don't know you.
The fin. Oh my God, guys. Escargot says T.
What did we win, man?
What?
Guys,
What did we win?
Oh
I was away. What did I miss?
No, Escargot 80 won the contest, so he gets your Void Trip book.
All right, Escargot, PM me your address, buddy. You're getting a signed Zombie Tramp Dan Mendoza. Oh my God! Thank you for paying attention. The Fin. Oh my God! Have you been watching these shows?
Okay, hold on. We have to do one for Void Trip now.
Okay.
The Fin.
You just toasted you, bro. You just toasted.
I'm done. Said the Fin.
What are you want to do the trivia, Sorah?
Oh man.
I've not told any of my really funny stories to be able to really quote on those funny trivias. Oh, actually I do. Wait. I do.
Okay. Drum roll.
This is really obscure and we'll see if anyone can. Wait, did I say that in the interview or pre-interview?
Captain America cock.
if it was porn-related, it was pre-interview.
No. It was what was the quote? What was the line that made me? How do I word this? I can't do it. I can't. It's too complicated. It's too complicated. It's too obscure. I get really hard with this stuff. Like I get really obscure. Huh?
How about what is the name of your dog?
Oh, that's a good one. What's the name of my dog? Oh, you could go to my fucking Facebook and find that out really quick. As everyone goes to Facebook to go find out the name of my dog.
Like, how do you spell Sorah?
You'd be surprised.
You guys hear the question? So to win a copy of Void Trip, is that a trade paperback or just a single?
No,
issue?
this is just the first issue.
First issue, variant covered by Sorah. The name of her dog. Nope. Close.
I know. I'm just fucking with them.
Oh, you're so mean.
Well, I mean, I can't obviously be wrong if I
Pope Cerebus and then Pope Grimy?
Yeah,
I know, right?
How are there two different popes?
We have a lot of popes in this show.
Escargot wins.
That's 2 for 2. And he wins. Congratulations. That's 2 wins in a row, buddy.
Are you writing this down? Because I'm not, honey.
Yeah, I got it. I always go back and review anyways. I'm usually pretty drunk by the end of the show, so I have to go back and check out half the chat. So, you know.
Like, I'm surprised Don the Doctor didn't hop on that. He was just a tad bit late on his reply.
Yeah, I didn't see his reply. I see what is the molecular weight of boron.
No, he has a picture of a shark in a bikini.
Oh yeah, for yours, yeah. Oh man, that's awesome.
Four-way
Let's not talk about furries right now. That's stuff I had to deal with furries at the
Orlando.
Local con. Did you see my cool post where I was like, "There's a lot of furries this con"?
I did see that, and I thought to myself,
that was the weekend before Orlando. That was Three Rivers Comic Con here in Pittsburgh, and
okay.
that was I was surprised with the amount of furries that there were.
There was in my younger days, I did a short film that's it's actually on YouTube as well. Yeah, it wasn't that kind of film.
Speaking of cocks and Eiffel Tower nipples.
Well, let's just say I took her to Paris that night.
Showed
her the Eiffel Tower.
Oh,
God. Anyways, I did a short film for a film contest, or what do you call it? I can't think. Film thing. What do you call those things? Festival. Oh my gosh, a film festival. And we actually lost the contest to a group that did a movie on furries.
Are you sure
everything you're saying, I'm gonna put in quotes, man.
I see that.
Like you did a film.
Was it an amateur film?
Well, it was
amateur film.
I realized
a festival about furries.
Was everybody 18 years old?
I don't know.
This goes back to the whole, like, do you know how old I was in 1995?
Yeah, you were freaking 13. I have no idea.
I was 9.
I thought it was 92, 93.
I was born in 86, honey.
Oh, yeah.
I'd be 9 in 95.
I don't know what this quote is. There was a quote.
What do I say after that?
I know. Where do you go from here? Where do we take this chat from here, guys? We just went from all different levels of I think that sometimes it's best to end your night with a pocket full of furries.
You know what? I'm almost done with my 3rd glass of wine, so yes.
Yeah, it's probably a good time to wrap it up here. You guys send your addresses to the appropriate people. Actually, Escargo80, I already have your address. It's on. I'll send that out. I know.
I need Escargo.
Probably be easier, Sorah. I'll just have you send the book to me because I already got stuff I got to send to him anyways.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah, just give me your address and everything, and I'll have.
Can I send you Escargo stuff too?
Yeah, Pope, because that way, because it's extremely expensive to send shit to Turkey, so I'll just cover the cost on that because
shit. Is that the guy in Turkey? Look.
Yeah.
Wait, is he actually Turkish or is he American military over there?
No, he's Turkish. His name is Hakan.
Cool.
Him and his fiance, they sent me an amazing video of them singing the other day. They made a song with my name in it. It was cute. But, anyways, they're good people.
I don't get serenaded by fans. What the hell?
I don't know if he's a fan. He's
like, you want us to sing for you?
Yeah,
I'm just saying, as a woman, I'm used to people singing for me. It's part of the deal. For my suffering.
That wasn't part of our contract, but you know, whatever.
We had contracts.
When I said, "Hey, Sorah, you want to come on?" You're like, "Sure." Then it's all like, "Wait a second, what have I gotten myself into, Mr. Price?"
It's been fun though. You guys are cool. Pope, are you on Facebook? You need to friend me on Facebook.
Oh my God! Like, just for you, I will get like
super enthused for that shit.
No, I'm enthused. It's just I abandoned Facebook because of the whole like Donald Trump shit. So
all the election stuff. John and I were talking this earlier. Well, you went to get a beer. I do not talk about politics online. Period.
That's why I had to get off Facebook, because
just curate the shit out of your newsfeed. That's what I've done. So my newsfeed is currently all dog and cat videos, and my friends are super positive. They're just like, I hope you have a wonderful day, and artwork. It's fantastic. So like, if you like, basically, God bless any of my friends who talk about politics on either fucking side of the thing. I literally do not. I don't follow them. I love them, but I don't follow them.
All right. Well, for just for you, I will get on Facebook and I will make a new thing, and I will.
Yeah. So there's one more thing here. Four-way flashers wanted to know if the quote was, "The man who promises everything is sure to fulfill nothing."
No, but that's a good quote. That's a good guess. This is obviously not pertinent because we're not doing a giveaway now, but I was going to ask about the quote that made me remember Mark Silvestri's name, which was the whole Mark Silvestri is a god, which cracked me up. So, like, to this day, I'm like, who the fuck says that?
I'll never forget that you said that, because that's just funny as hell. You're like, Batman. I was like, say brooding. You're like, brooding. I was like, yes.
Right? Like, but it was like, you know what piece I'm talking about, where he's like in the Batcave and it's super broody.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
I'm pretty sure that Matt's the one who inked him. I don't think it was Joe Weems. I could be wrong, though. I could be wrong. But, I mean, it's a beautiful piece of art. I mean, it's very, very famously his. And, yeah, it was like, you know, Batman just lounging in this fucking chair looking all badass and awesome. And then it was like, Mark Silvestri's a god. It's just like that. That's literally the only reason I remember that fucker's name.
It's etched in your brain forever.
Forever seared into my brain.
Escargo 80 asked if you could sign that book for him as well.
It's signed. I assumed.
Oh, well, shit. Hope no one says, you know what? I really don't want that book signed by Sorah, but I'll take the book.
I have blank ones.
I'm just.
It's not even my last copies. Anyway.
Hey, Escargo, do you want me to sign this as well?
With shark titties.
With shark titties.
You know, someday I'm going to get a commission done by you. Sorah's going to draw a shark titty for you, buddy. I just know it. No? She's saying no. Like, she's just shooting it down right now. Not enough line in the world to convince me to do that, buddy.
Well, listen, as I said earlier, we're all whores.
So do you get a lot of nudity requests? I mean, that's something I've never thought to ask, but do you have like a line where you draw and you say?
I do. So I will keep things suggestive or PG-13. That's my rule for covers. For interior work, it's different because if it's story and context wise, I have no problem drawing sexual nature things. But for covers, it's I follow the J. Scott Campbell rule of everything must be PG-13 or, you know, suggestive nudity. So I'll go like what Paolo Pantalena tends to do, which is like, this person is topless, but the arm is strategically placed over the nipples.
Sure.
That kind of stuff.
Yeah, I got it.
I actually got the craziest request. I was always asked, like,
shark wasn't
no. Prepare thyself, okay? Because you do not understand. Like. I'm not going to, I mean, God bless if he's listening to this, and this is no judgment on him who requested this of me. I don't know who it was, but I got an email from my website, and he was very respectful. He was very nice, very professional, and he said, I have a $10,000 budget.
Wow.
And
that's how you know you're for real when you say I have a $10,000.
Well, there's a reason he has a $10,000 budget, because the content of what he was wanting, he wanted a comic book that was going to be very graphic, that dealt with anthropomorphic sex, pregnancy, and childhood. Oh no, it was not that, John. It was like the way he was describing it was like fluids. Like,
did you not see the pages I showed you?
I know, but it was super intense, and it's so funny because up until this year, and in time somebody's like, "What's the weirdest request you ever had?" I'm like, "Well, I've not really had that weird of requests." And I finally have 2018 was my year. I had to wait this long. 2018, 11 years.
To finally get that.
Thank you, thank you. Yeah, it was like
an offer for something that you had to shut down.
well, I just didn't respond.
No.
So you said no?
I didn't respond.
$10,000 on the line here. You didn't respond. You didn't.
You have to see her reputation though, like, because if he would have showed the world what she has done with these fluids and whatnots, then her career.
I absolutely do not look at animals and want to, and I don't look at an animal and like I want to do it. Like it just I just don't. The closest I've got two things that are maybe the closest. One, Robin Hood the fox in Robin Hood, I thought was cute as a kid. I was like, oh, he's kind of cute. But he's a fox. It's kind of weird.
You're
and then second, huh?
But you were a kid.
I was a kid. But then also in Beauty and the Beast, Disney, the Beast, I thought he was more attractive than human.
Than his human version?
Yeah, but I'm not alone in that. A lot of people think
no,
that.
I actually agree with you. We just watched the live action version not too long ago, kind of in the transition of moving. And I was like, he kind of looks better as the Beast. Like I felt
agree on that one. Dan Steven is a fine motherfucker, and I will sing that all day. So, and I'm not into blondes.
I'm apparently into beastly men, so whatever. This goes back to that guy I used to know when I was a kid.
The cousin.
The cousin.
Oh my
God. His nickname was the Wildebeest.
There's so many layers to what is happening right now that I don't want to unpeel that onion.
No, fair enough.
No.
Let's just say it involves Zima, Jolly Ranchers, and a scary day.
Oh my God, why are you elaborating on this? Do we need to have this? Like,
no, we don't.
Jolly Ranchers for me.
Is that Sonic? Oh, Captain America.
This is my office. I have two things. I have like, no, I have a few. Have you actually seen my office?
Is that Ben Affleck?
I saw what I thought was your bedroom.
I'm turning the camera, so it's gonna get really fucked up. Hold on.
Oh man, there's Captain America everywhere.
Hold on. I'm moving my camera, so I apologize.
Guys, these last viewers are getting the show.
Life size cutout, come at me. And then hold on.
There it is.
Hold on. And then I have that. I don't know. Hold on. I gotta move this.
Is that a beanbag?
Yeah, it's a beanbag with his. I have a blanket over it, and then I have all my little Funko Pops. I have so many. We lost Homeboy.
Yeah, he'll be back. I have this.
Is that a white Batman?
Mm-hmm.
That's cool. Okay, darling, it is midnight. I gotta go.
Yeah, you probably do have to go. I think Pope was under the same thing as you. He's like, I gotta go. All right. Well, thank you so much.
Did he just bail? Like that's it?
Huh?
Did he just bail?
No, I think he probably hit the wrong button. he's had a few drinks, but I can't thank you enough. I know if he comes back on, he'll feel the same way. It was a pleasure and honor.
You got to send me your address. I can send you the books for the listeners. Thank you so much, guys.
Oh, you mean my magic sketch? What? Anyways, thank you again, Sorah. It's been a pleasure. You are truly an awesome individual, and I'm proud that you were the first guest on our show.
All right, honey.
Take care now. Bye-bye. Have a great night.
You too.
Bye. All right. Thank you guys so much for watching tonight. Do not know what happened to Pope. He probably got lost in a nice rack of shark breast. So thank you guys for joining us tonight. I hope you enjoyed it. Cannot thank Sorah enough for being on. She's truly awesome. We hope to have more people in the future that want to do this sort of thing with us. I know tonight's show got a little lengthy, but hey, I'm not going to stop someone from talking when we're having a great time. So thank you all for being here tonight. You guys that won prizes, congratulations. I will get those out to you. I'll check my PMs here in a little bit. And thanks again, and you guys have a great night. Bye-bye.